Hi everyone, and welcome to not a Transformer review this time, but a Figma review. Yes, I'm back to reviewing some more Figma figures. And also here joining me, of course, is my dad.
Hey, howdy y'all. Good to see y'all. This is the day after Thanksgiving. I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving, y'all and y'all's families. We did, and so Colton said, I want to review something that come in the mail. Okay. And, okay, go ahead.
But before we get to what we're reviewing here, or showing y'all here in the intro of what we're going to be reviewing, how do y'all like my new shirt?
Okay.
Because as you can see, I do have a new shirt here, which was my original logo, but before it was changed.
We have two logos, okay? This right here is one, and we drew it, I drew it, and me and Colton worked on it, and we put it on the shirt. And so what the shirt says, why don't you tell them what the shirt says?
Well, first off, as you can clearly see here on the logo, it has in the middle the puzzle piece, which stands for like an autism.
It's autism. It's to represent the autism, because in autism and stuff like that, it's a puzzle piece that you literally have to put together with children with autism and stuff like that. So we decided, hey, make two faces and then put the sort of logo, It's not precise, it's not exact, but it's his drawing, it's what we made.
And also, this side is the half of the Autobot symbol, and this half side is the Decepticon symbol here. And on the top here, it has my name here. For my YouTube channel, Colton Dewees. And on the bottom here, it has autism awareness.
So, to give y'all a little backstory, when we started this a couple of years ago, and I've said this before, when we was putting all this together and stuff like that, I asked Colton, I said, what do you want to do? And this is what he told me he wanted to do, and I told him I'll be right here beside you, and he's gotten better with his talking.
Yes.
He knows how, he's come a long way, a lot better than when we started out, because it was very rough, it was very tough. Just trying to give him all the help that we can, because like I said, in my experience of what's going on with us, it's up to me and Mama to fight for my son and daughter, who are both autistic. So we started this a couple years back, and
and I've now started this for about 3 years ago, because I looked back on my very first YouTube video, which was the SH Figure Arts Naruto,
Yes.
and I saw how many years it's been since I first started uploading it, and I was right. 3 years ago.
About 3 years ago, and when we started stuff like that, the only way he could communicate was pretty much over the phone. And I told him then, I said, hey, we're gonna do this. You got to start talking. Me and your mom would love to hear your voice again. We'd love to hear you talk. We got to know what you have to say, and your viewers are going to want to know what you have to say. You have to start talking, whether you like it or not. It's a struggle, but you got to find your voice again. Now, I don't know what happened or how come that become about. I think I'll never know, but that's okay. Because there for about 4 years, something like that, he rarely talked. And the only way to communicate was through a phone. And I told him then, I was like, nope, this ain't going to work. I said, you have to work at it, you have to struggle, you have to be in the fight in order to enjoy the victory. So he's come a long ways, and with that said, we want to thank y'all for being with us, helping us, because like I said in a way before, y'all watching it has actually helped my son get his voice back. And with that, I can only say we thank y'all, and we thank you, and we appreciate y'all. This is something that's just for fun, to blow off steam and just take a look at another side of the past, today, what's going on through Transformers, toys, whatever else that he wants to review. So this is something that he wants to review today. So there's a bunch of things going on. Y'all please be careful going into this holiday season, you know.
And also, the cold front just started now hitting.
Yeah, the weather's finally starting to turn cooler now.
Which I actually like the cooler instead of the heat.
Well, yeah, the heat, it really gets hot down here, real hot.
Yes.
So, you know.
From where I live.
So, we put the design on the shirt. There's actually two designs. This one, that was the original design when we first started pulling all this together. And me collaborating with Colton talking to me. We're trying to put all this together. So, I told Colton then, I was like, look, we have two logos. So, we're going to put the original one on shirt. If y'all like this shirt, let us know. And we will go from there.
And you said the original logo you're talking about.
Yes. Yes, there's two logos. One for the channel and then one for this. Because everybody on the autism spectrum is different. Everybody learns different. Everybody is going through their own challenges. And even regular people go through their own challenges. So, with that said, I'm going to stop rambling. We're going to get on to the...
Well, show y'all first here in the intro before we get to the actual review of what we're reviewing.
Yep. Okay.
So for today's review, we are going to be taking a look at the Figma Guyver 1 from the anime show Guyver Bio-Boosted Armor here. Now, Guyver, for those of you who don't know, or for those of you who have already known, it is an anime show that came out in the mid-1980s.
I think so. I could be wrong. I remember seeing it in animation form, and also they made a movie. So I've seen them both.
They made a movie of it, but it's the live action movies. 2 live action movies. And they came out in the 1990s.
We're assuming. I do not know. I remember seeing both of them.
And on the back you do have some artwork. Or the figure into some poses of what he can do. And some accessories of what he has.
And now I get the box.
Because we're about to head over to the review area and look at the figure. So, I guess we'll be heading over to the reviewing area and taking a look at the action figure itself.
We'll see y'all here in a minute. Yes.
Yes. Stay tuned. And here we are at the reviewing area, and here we have the Figma Guyver 1 here on the reviewing area from the anime show Guyver Bio Boosted Armor.
When I saw this, I think I had a friend that told me that. This was years ago, and I remember seeing the animated version. Then I remember them having a movie version, and they were both kind of weird, but okay.
When you said movie, do you mean the live action?
Yes.
Ones? Yeah.
Yeah. So I've seen them both. So that's what this is after replicating, I believe, and that's about all I know. I remember watching them, and it was a weird kind of movie, but it was good if you could follow the story.
What about the anime?
It was good too. It was good. I think actually the anime was better than the live real movie. They were both good, but I think the anime was better than the live action actor movie because in anime they could do a lot more at that time. That's just my opinion. Y'all let us know what y'all think about it. That's my opinion on it.
They did, also made a... I'm gonna say a remake of the Guyver from the mid-2000s.
If they did, I don't know anything about it. And if they did with today's technology, they could do a lot better job compared to what it was. So... they probably did, and I'm not aware of it. I remember the first time when I seen it, it was like, a long time ago. And so anyway.
I've seen, 12 episodes of the Guyver, the original Guyver. I've also seen the remake of it from the mid-2000s, but I only seen some of it and a little bit of the live action Guyver. And the only reason I know about Guyver is, I've just seen some toy reviews of it, which was this one here.
Okay, so you checked out other people and stuff like that, and you decided to go and get it.
Even the one which is my favorite one.
Okay, so
Like my favorite toy reviewer.
okay, so this is it, and this is Figma. Figma
Yes.
is the designer. Figma is the designer who made this.
Yes.
Yes.
Posable action figures. The same company that made that Figma Common Rider Dragon Knight and those Figma Magical Girls
Okay.
that I've reviewed.
Okay.
But there is some changes that they did with this because, well, only a little bit of changes that they did with this Figma because these newer Figmas that we're getting today have a little bit of changes that they're doing compared to what they used to do but back then. So let's get a closer look at the figure itself. Getting a closer look at the head sculpt here. As you can see, it is a pretty cool head sculpt here. That does have a lot of black lining around it. A little bit of silver paint here. And also these things, these things in the anime do move up and down. From what I can remember, or what you can remember, he can sense, like sense danger by using these.
Yeah, it kind of like gives him eyes all the way around. It's
like an extra pair of eyes on the top of his head.
yeah, and if I'm right in the anime, the guy actually accidentally steps across the little backpack where this whole suit is contained.
Yes, and he does. This figure does come with an accessory, which is from the very first episode of the Guyver, which the guy or the kid does when he first grabs a hold of it.
It kind of comes out of the package and consumes him into the Guyver form. So the kid is pretty much freaked out.
From the very first episode.
Yeah, because he doesn't understand what's going on and how this is going on, but he just knows that he's different when he's in the full armor suit.
But if I remember, or if you remember, this is an alien suit.
Yeah, yes, it had to do something with the alien suit and the military, but I'm not exactly sure how they coincide with each other. So it was some tech and the military had a little bit to do with it too. High tech stuff.
Okay. And you do have a little bit more silver paint on these little dots here. And a little bit more black paint on these things, which do exhaust, like blow out
Steam, exhaust. I don't know. Yeah, they're kind of like vent ports.
Yes. And the eyes do look really nice as well. And he does have like if you can call like compound eyes.
I don't, that's the eyes that come with the helmet, the suit. So I don't know.
But they do look really nice, and it does have a clear thing behind the painted eyes here.
Well, the eyes, they did really good. It breaks up so much of that same color, so.
Also, you do get a little spot of green paint here on this head crest thing, and also on the sides. You do get little spots of red paint here. And some black paint on these, on these tentacle things. Or wires. And you do have the head crest here. And also, the tip of the head crest is really sharp.
It's spiky.
Yes. So, when you're handling this figure, be mindful that this is really sharp. And going down to the body here. You two have a lot more that teal or light blue color with some more of that black and a little bit more silver paint here. And the shoulder pads. Also, if I zoom in here, you could also see that he does have like a little bit of this black wash paint to him. Could you see that black wash paint?
Mm-hmm.
And also, you do have these things which are going to be the arm blades here. And just like the head crest, these things
are very spiky too.
Yes.
No, it's got 3 points on them that are really kind of spiky, pointy.
or sharp.
Yeah, pointy. So just be in mind with those 3 spots, the head and the 2 arms. Because they even get bigger with spikiness. You'll see here in a minute.
And the hands here. Now he doesn't come packaged with these hands when you get him out of the box. He actually comes packaged in the closed fist hands. Not these hands like you see on this figure here. And you have some like tubes here.
Yeah, that's part of the outfit. Like I said, the outfit that he has is very strange. It looks kind of like a bug, and it kind of doesn't, and it kind of looks like an alien suit, kind of doesn't. It's weird. It's a good movie. good anime movie, but
And going to the back here, and to the legs here, which the legs do have more of that same black wash paint to it. But like here, you could see. And going down to his feet here, which does have some nice panel lining to it. And the bottom of his feet here. And overall, really cool and amazing action figure. But like I said, there is a little bit of changes that we're going to see on this newer Figma figure compared to the older Figmas, which I do have, which are those Magical Girls and the Common Rider. And that is when we get to the articulation, which we are going to get to right now. So for the articulation, his head does move, but as you can see, his head is connected by these two things here. But like you see here, as you move the head, these things here that are connected by his head to his chest does move as you move his head left and right. So it can still like go a full 360 degrees, but you're not gonna do that because these things are connected by his head to his chest. And his head does kind of move down a little bit, yeah. And it can't move up all the way, but of course, these things are attached to his chest and his head. Well, on the bottom of his head here. So you're not going to get a lot of up. But the arms can rotate all the way around, and they are on ball joints. And they can move in and out, and these shoulder pads do move out of the way because the shoulder pads are connected by a rubber piece. So they do shift as you move the arm out. Just like that. And he does kind of have an armpit joint. You can see there. Bicep swivel. Elbow and elbow swivel at the top and also here. Now, This is a change that I wanted to show you for these new Figmas that they're doing. He does have hand articulation from the wrist. But before I show you this new wrist articulation, I wanted to show you on the older Figma figure. And this is, for example, this is the Figma Kamen Rider Dragon Knight. Now, these wrist joints on the older Figmas, if I remove his hand, as you can see here, you do have a wrist swivel, but you do have a hinge joint where you could only move his hand up and down, like this. And that's it on the older Figma figures. But now, the wrist joint that this new Figma has, I am going to have to remove his hand here. And you do have, well, he does come with an extra wrist peg, which I am going to show you, and that is part of the accessories. But I'm going to show you here. So these newer wrist joints that you get for the new Figmas, they do have a swivel here, but if I move this joint up, you also get a swivel at the hand itself. Which means you can position the wrist joint however you want. So not only you can have it moving up and down, but if you rotate the peg on the hand itself, now it's moving side to side, just like that. And to show you the new wrist joint, this is what they look like here for the new Figmas that they're doing.
Yep, that's very small. I done lost it. Yep.
So that is a big difference that they're doing for these newer Figmas compared to the older Figmas. Because the older Figmas, all you have is just a wrist swivel, and the hand can only move up and down like this. But on this, you can position the joint of the wrist peg however you want. So going back to the articulation, you do have a ball joint at the torso and a ball joint at the waist here. Ball joint at the hips. And they can move in and out, and these things do move as well as you move the legs out. And I don't know if y'all clearly saw it, but his waist here is, as you can see, a separate piece here. So it does kind of move as you move his waist and his legs around. And you do get a thigh swivel at that cut here. Bend at the knee, which almost looks like a double jointed knee. And the feet do swivel, but it is kind of limited. Move up and down a little bit. A little bit of an ankle pivot. And you also do get a toe joint, which I don't know if Figma has added a toe joint on the older Figmas. I'm gonna say they haven't on the older Figma figures. Or I could be wrong. But if they have done it from the older Figmas where they added a toe joint, let me know in the comment section below. But I'm gonna say they haven't, or they might. Because the Figmas I have, which are the older ones, do not have that toe joint, which is the Common Rider and the Magical Girls from Monica Magica. And that's all the articulation you get. And like I said, I do like that new wrist joint that they're doing for the newer Figmas you get compared to the older ones.
You want to show them the accessories?
Yes.
Okay.
So now let's get to the accessories. So first off, just like with all the other Figmas, you get the included sandwich bag here to keep your
Your loose parts.
Loose parts. Yes.
That's it, right?
Yes.
I was wondering what the bag said. Look, even the bag's got Figma on it.
Yes.
It sure does.
Just like with every figure.
Okay. I was wondering, is it going to say Ziploc? And okay, nope, it says Figma.
And of course you do get the included stand, which has the same 3 hinge joints and can rotate here
No, those figure stands, they can be any kind of port that you can attach to right there, like a star screen that has the same port. I'm assuming. I think so. As long as it's not too heavy.
A star screen?
Yeah, like a small, like that star screen up there, the one that you did a review of a couple of days back.
Oh.
If it had a same hole port on the back, you should be able to fit it right there and make a stand with him kind of like up above.
I don't think you should do that.
No?
Or I think you can.
Yeah, I don't see why not. As long as it's stiff and it has the same port. It's just a thought later on. But it's cool because you have a stand. As long as you have the same port.
Also, speaking of this port here, or that peg, you can't attach him to this peg here if you want to. But what they also give you is this here, which is like the exact same peg here that I had from one of, or I think the couple of the magical girls, which were also made by Figma, who had this exact same peg here. And you can attach this to this peg and that hole right there. But you will have to rotate it around so that the peg is facing up.
So they give you some options with the stand, along with the added piece that you can add in there just for more dynamic poses.
Yes.
For the character.
And the way he attaches to the stand is by this peg or the other peg here. If you don't have this attached on it from this hole right here. And of course you do get some optional hands here. And of course that extra wrist peg that I showed you before, which was of course this.
Very, very small.
Yes. But here's the optional hands you get here. And like I said before, when you get this figure out of the box, he's going to become packaged in the closed hands. Not these hands, like you see here. Just these closed hands here, which are the fist hands. And these hands here you get are kind of like the open hands, or more the relaxed hands, which you could see here. But you also do get splayed open hands, two grabbing hands, and two
Karate chop hands.
yes, or I guess you can call them like saluting hands.
I don't know. That's for, I guess, more karate chop dynamic poses you want to get. I don't know. There's definitely hand options you have with this figure.
And like you already saw, you can remove them off of this thing from these pegs here, which is another new thing that Figma is doing for these newer Figmas, because on the older Figmas, they never had these pegs on this rack here. So all you have from the older Figmas are these tiny little holes on this rack. So you can't attach the hands from the peg into these holes on this rack from the older Figmas. But this new Figma, like you see here, they now have these tabs on this rack, so you can attach these hands
Yeah,
too.
it's kind of like a sprue.
Yeah, kind of like that. And swapping the hands is still kind of easy for the newer Figmas, like this one, but it is kind of a little tricky to do. And another accessory that you get is these blades here on his arms are the shorter ones, but you do get two of these longer blades here, and they are again sharp. And swapping these is really easy. Just remove the shorter ones and replace the longer ones. And there you go. But I am gonna have to put back the shorter ones. And another interchangeable part that you get is an optional chest piece, which is this. And the difference is with the chests here is this new chest here does open up and reveals two of these clear things here. And what the Guyver does with these two clear things is he shoots lasers out of these. Yes, people. He does shoot lasers out of his chest here. Also, these do rotate as well. So that way you can kind of position these so that way he's gripping onto these things while he's shooting lasers out of his chest. And swapping the chests it is, of course, really easy. Just remove the chest here from these two tabs and these two tabs from these two holes and these two tiny little holes here. Also, to show y'all this optional chest here is a bit bigger compared to this chest here, because this chest is a little smaller compared to this optional chest you got. So just attach the optional one on and open up his chest. And kind of position his arms so he looks like he's opening up his chest, ready to shoot out some lasers. Just like that. And while we're talking about this optional chest, now here, as you can see, these two things are clear on the final release of this figure. But if I bring in the box here, you could see on the box they colored these or painted these yellow. But on the toy here, they're clear on the final release here. So I guess they didn't want the yellow on the chest for the final release here. But that's like my thoughts of it.
The articulation's a lot better compared to what it was, what they had a couple years back. They added some things to the wrist to make it more flexible and movable with more articulation. This guy right here, he has a lot of accessories.
Well, not really a lot, just enough. But we do have one more accessory here, which is the last accessory that this figure comes with, and that is this. This is called the Guyver unit, which was at the first episode of the Guyver, where that guy or kid found it, and this is what made him into the Guyver, or transformed him into the Guyver here.
Now, I'm not sure if that was part of a military experiment or a military-grade weaponization of tech. I'm not exactly sure. It's been a long time since I've seen it. So, y'all would have to fill us in on the comments below. I know that is the Guyver unit, and the boy, the teenager kid, accidentally walked up on it, and he looked at it real good, and then all of a sudden it come alive and started attaching itself to the boy as if that's its host for the suit, the outfit.
Right. But it does look really nice. Got some silver paint on both sides, some nice panel lining, and a little more of that black wash paint to it. And also some black on these tentacle things or wires here. And that is about it for the accessories. So, I guess we'll be right back with our final thoughts. So, stay tuned. So, there you have the review of the Figma Guyver 1 from Guyver Bio Boosted Armor. Overall, very cool figure all around. The paint job looks great, and the articulation also does look great. And I even do like the new wrist joints that Figma is doing for the newer Figma figures that we're getting in today's time compared to the older wrist joints on the older Figmas. However, the newer wrist joints for the new Figma figures is kind of tricky to remove them and reattach them when you're trying to swap out the hands. But once you get the hang of it, you're good.
I think the figure looks really good. They did a good job with the articulation. He has a lot of articulation.
Except, which I almost forgot to say, his head is kind of limited in the articulation due to these tube things connecting his head to his chest.
Yeah. If y'all are not aware, they have an anime show of this person and his storyline and how he become to be what he is with the Guyver. Now, every time when we say Guyver, for some reason I want to say MacGyver, and that's not it. It's Guyver.
Yes. Because
MacGyver is a show that was in the 80s. And when you say Guyver, I just want to automatically say MacGyver. No, it's Guyver.
Just take out the Mac.
Yeah.
And you have Guyver.
Yeah. So that is awesome. The stand is great with him. He looks overall a really good character with a lot of posability, articulation, and he just looks good all the way around. They did a really good job with him.
And one flaw I have with him, and it's not really a flaw. It's just my opinion. And that is for the optional chest here that opens up for the test shot here. That they are yellow for the test shot, but the final release here is all clear. And in the anime and also the live action movies, these things were clear from the anime.
I don't remember. I'd have to see it.
Because
they did shoot out something, like a laser beam or a bolt or something like that. So they're clear when they open up, but then they change to a yellow when it's charged up, ready to fire, I think. It's been a while, so I think that's the way it went, but hey, I could be wrong.
I think that's why we don't get the yellow on the final release. Or they could have like had interchangeable
lenses
lenses here for
interchangeable.
For the chest.
And that would have been awesome. Yeah.
So that way they would look like they're charging up, getting ready to fire out.
Yeah. So, you know,
that's really the only flaw I kind of have with it. It's not really a flaw. It's kind of like a nitpick I have with it. But everything else looks great.
all right. Hey, I'm gonna let Colton close it out. Hey, y'all have a good one. Be careful out there. It's the day after Thanksgiving, and we know what's fixing to hit us. It's gonna be the holidays, and everybody going crazy, and you know, just be careful out there. Watch yourselves. Take care of yourself and your families, and we will see y'all next time.
And if you like this video, give us a like, comment, and subscribe for more. And if you want to check out some other videos you may have missed, there's a playlist set up on my YouTube channel. So I think that's about it. So thanks for watching.